What's going on, guys? It's Nathan. Welcome to episode 5 of My Cup of Tea. I could have sworn it was more by this point, but I guess not. We just tend to have like a lot more hiatuses of late. But we are back this week with even more news and even more gestures, apparently. Joining us, as always, we have Evan.
Hey, guys. Yeah, you said episode 5. I'm like, dang, is it only episode 5? I guess because last week we had a Hyperspace hype like at episode 30 or something. And I'm like,
Almost,
wow.
Yeah.
Time is flying by. But yeah, I've had a fantastic week. Since our last podcast, I've watched, I think, 4 more Ghibli films that I can't wait to talk about. And Big Brother I started. So I am completely obsessed again about Big Brother. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Also joining us, we have Carson.
What's going on, guys? I am watching Evan's tweets about Big Brother, knowing absolutely nothing about it. And I'm very confused on what it actually is. I don't know what it is, but it's something. I don't know if it's like a cable show or like what it is. But that aside, I've also been watching Ghibli movies, and I only have 5 left. I've been kind of going out of order based on how I can get them at the library.
You sure have.
But I have 5 left, and yeah, it's just been a wonderful experience, and I can't wait to talk about more of those. And we have tons of movie news to talk about.
Yeah.
Big AMC stuff and Hamilton, because I watched Hamilton. I forgot how I could not mention that. And John Wick 5 and Captain Marvel, and there's just so much that I haven't even mentioned. But yeah.
Definitely for me, if you didn't catch my tipsy spiel the other night, which these guys were tuning in for, I checked out Your Name this weekend, and it was quite fantastic. So I'll go more coherently in depth at the end of the show. But for now, let's just get into the news here. So
what are we starting off with?
I think we should just immediately with like what dropped, like breaking now, 3 hours ago. John Wick 5 has been announced is in development at Lionsgate, and even more interesting is it's being planned to film back to back with 4, kind of like a what they're doing with the next couple Mission Impossibles. That's probably the best vein in terms of like the way the series is, but I imagine it's going to go like a part 1, part 2 type route.
That's exactly what I'm thinking for too. As soon as somebody says we're filming this back to back, it has to be kind of the part 1, part 2, part 3 kind of thing, because they did the same thing with Lord of the Rings back in the day, and they did the same thing with
and Matrix.
And Matrix. Oh wow, you're right.
Forget Matrix. Yeah, Keanu did that back in like Matrix Revolutions and Reloaded.
Yeah, around the same time as Lord of the Rings. Oddly enough,
literally, yeah,
like 2001 or whatever. But so yeah, that's pretty interesting. So I guess whenever they say they're filming back to back, I automatically assume the last one's going to be the last one. Like I think John Wick 5 might be his last go around, because it's so funny. I walked out of John Wick 3 thinking I walked into John Wick 3 thinking this could be the last one. And then I walked out saying like, wow, this movie is fantastic. I wouldn't mind doing 7 more. But it looks like 5, they're going to cap it out. I think Carson called it a pentology or something.
Pentology. I don't know how to pronounce it, because it would be like, I don't know, like if you say there's 5 or something like Pentagon, would it be like pentology or would it be pentology?
Pentology?
Pentology sounds cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited too for this, because John Wick 3 was, I love where John Wick 3 ended off. I mean, every John Wick film kind of ends off on like, good, like I love the ending of 2, or it leads into like the big chase, and literally the first 20 minutes of John Wick 3 is just like the aftermath of that. Yeah. And of course, at the end of this one, he literally just like falls off a roof and like crazy, and he gets rescued.
That part, I'm like, really? Are we doing this? Okay.
God, I know. Like, in a while. I need to get back.
That was a big fall. Like
he fell off a hotel, the roof of a hotel to the floor.
Didn't he hit a couple things
so
on the way
brutal
down?
In the movie.
Apparently, I mean, he should.
Yeah, he hit like a little side awning thing, but like
I guess that slows down the momentum. But it's already pretty outrageous.
He's still right to concrete though. Anyways. He gets
off the finger like
by Lawrence Fishburne, right?
Who also should have died too in the movie.
Yeah.
Didn't he get like cut up 7 times by the assassin guy? Didn't he get like sliced?
Yeah, it was. I think it was a hotel owner that shot him off the roof.
Shot John Wick, but then Lawrence Fishburne also got like sliced up because he was like hiding John Wick from him. So he got punished.
Limb sliced off or something, or maybe I'm going.
John lost
a pinky. or finger.
No.
finger.
Lawrence Fishburne's character. I
I
swear
think
he got like.
it's just his chest, right? Or
Oh
He
yeah, I think
just
it's
got
stabbed.
flashed around.
yeah, it was weird. I
Anyway.
did like that assassin character. He died, right? He's not coming back.
Which one?
The assassin guy that was a huge fan of John Wick throughout the movie. He's like,
Oh yeah, I mean, like he took a sword to the chest. I think.
okay, yeah. I only saw this one time in theaters.
Yeah, me too. But how John Wick 3 ended off, I can see. I think ending it after 5 makes sense because I think by the time we get to 5, it will be like John Wick versus whoever the top of the high table is, and that's what we're leading to.
That's what I
think
thought.
2 films will get us there.
Mm-hmm. I thought for the 4th one, it was going to be called John Wick: The High Table. That'd be an awesome title.
Yeah.
And it would be like a raid movie where you have like this hotel or whatever, and you have to go against each member of the High Table. I don't know how many members there are. I think there's 10. I forget the lore of the whole John Wick world, but yeah, it would be cool to like go against each member of the High Table, and then 5 he has to go against the main villain. Something happens. I'm expecting some kind of big twist that we're not expecting. But yeah, I'm very excited. I'm super excited.
Yeah, me too. It's like you guys. I was anticipating 3 to be the end, so I was definitely shocked not only to see that it didn't like straight up get resolved, but like I think it was like a couple weeks after I signed up for like the text notification exclusivity.
That was the best news ever.
Yeah, it was just like boom, John Wick 4 is coming. It's like, oh my god, and then I think also Carson, didn't you get it before you even got to see it?
Yeah, and I was like, because I got it, and then like there was a 5-minute delay between when the Twitter account, the John Wick and all the trades like picked it up and said John Wick 4 is officially happening. And so I'm like, oh my god, is this real? And then I genuinely forgot that like I had signed up for those text updates because it had originally been for the
text
John Wick
updates.
3.
What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, like back, when like a trailer drops nowadays, they're like, oh, reply to this or sign up for this,
like this tweet if you want.
Yeah, something like that. But they had like this thing where you just like you text them and then they give you like continental updates or whatever.
It was like an in character, like the same way all the assassins get text updates in the film.
Oh, that's cool.
I did it for Knives Out too. I'm pretty sure Knives Out had a thing where they would.
Yeah, they were more like less in. I don't know if they were as in character, but they had the exclusive photos and stuff. I remember.
Awesome.
John Wick was like even like after the release, they were still updating on like. I think in our pandemic world now, they were like giving like looks at like documentary stuff not seen yet. Yep. I think it was lead up to the Blu-ray or something.
That's pretty cool.
Do we know if Stahelski or who directed? Was it
Chad Stahelski?
I think Chad
did
Stahelski
the third
did
one,
all
right? Because then David Leitch left after 1 or 2.
I think
it was originally a pairing of the two, and then
then Leitch blew up and literally is directing like 7 projects.
He's directing 7,000 stuff. I'm like, dude, like Atomic Blonde 2, Deadpool 3, and whatever.
Every other week he's in the news.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And he just signed with CAA or whatever, the repping agency or all this stuff. But anyways, I think like thinking that where 3 left off, I think 4 will probably be like kind of an all-out war where the syndicate not the syndicates. I'm thinking about Solo. Sorry, the Continental is going to send like more troops or whatever because we saw what that force like looks like for the like first major time, like at the end when they send like that big amount of troops into the hotel. But I'm sure they have more resources at their disposal, and it's going to be even bigger and better. And of course, I totally forgot we got Halle Berry and dogs in the last one. I didn't even remember. I just remember that action scene. So I think
she's definitely going to come back for at least one.
I can imagine like characters from every film probably.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to try to bring up is like I think they'll encompass that stuff more, and I think there'll be some traveling more than there was in the, because he gets like carried out to that desert or whatever that.
One short scene.
But my dream sequence, I say this every time we talk about John Wick, is I want John Wick fighting a John Wick fight sequence on an airplane. It just makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Imagine John Wick kind of like on a like. It can be an airplane, and he has to like maybe there's like an undercover flight attendant that like spots him, and they had to fight with the actual stuff that's in like the flight attendant cart, and so he's just like fighting with like juice and like
that would be crazy.
Like
like the ice tray and just random stuff. I just like it's my dream John Wick scene.
Oh, he could have a lot of fun. Like that's a great set piece. That's something I would love to see.
It can be dark too. Like I imagine an airplane. I think of like The Boys, that whole airplane scene.
Yeah,
like that could get dark real quick because not that many room, a lot of people around.
Can you imagine they pull a thing where it's like he has to like just like take a commercial air flight, but like they're actually all assassins.
That would be crazy.
Yeah,
that was
everybody's undercover and they all look at him. He has to go through.
That would get goofy because at the end of John Wick 2, like apparently everybody in New York was an assassin. I'm like, okay, come on.
Can you imagine the gigantic scenery of like by the end of that, there's just a giant aircraft going down, and he's just like in the distance, and you're like over the shoulder, like while he's in a parachute, just hanging there. Like, my god!
He finally gets to the front of the airplane, gets in, locks the pilot's door. He's like, air traffic control, this is John Wick, and he's like, we know who you are. And the air traffic controller is also undercover, so he's like, they're not gonna let me land, so he has to jump out.
That could be just like no. In Uncharted 3, Nathan Drake kind of has to do the same thing. It's pretty awesome. That sounds cool. I always do love airplane fight sequences, airplane thrillers.
Unless it's The Mummy, and then the trailer with no.
It's better. I imagine they'll do the same sort of film stunts, but better.
Who do you guys think they're going to get a big actor for members of the High Table? I always thought like Tom Cruise would be a great final villain for this franchise. I just want to see like Collateral Tom Cruise, where he's like playing the villain versus John Wick. Oh man, that'd be awesome.
Give me every big action star.
I don't want The Rock in this, but
no. You don't want like Vin Diesel.
It's kind of cliche, but
it's a triple X.
John Carlo would be a great member of the High Table.
The man just exudes intimidation.
Kind of overused now at this point, but I would.
I mean,
who else?
Video games.
I would love Ben Mendelsohn. Like that would be phenomenal. I would love. He's not really an action star, but
no.
I was wondering how big they'd go because I remember they ran into the guy in the desert was the French guy from Wonder Woman, who I thought was a good fit, but
that's right.
I don't think he's like of like the highest status. So I was like wondering like who would really be. But I like all these names you're throwing out. I'm trying to think.
Jason Statham shows up.
Right. Arnold
Schwarzenegger just be Expendable 6.
It's just Expendable. Harrison Ford's there, like I guess
get off my plane.
Man.
That'd be cool. But yeah, Tom Cruise is my dream pick. I've been wanting him ever since John Wick 2. Like I feel like this guy would be awesome.
That would be
even though he is doing the Mission Impossible movies, like he has nothing. He does a lot of movies.
No, he's got that Doug Liman.
He has a Doug Liman thing. Yeah, I just remember that. Fudge. Crap. Man, whatever.
Dude, it's so fun.
Also, real quick, do you guys think, because a lot of people complain about John Wick 2 and 3 not having enough heart as the first one. Do you think that's inevitable once they go to 4 and 5? Like, is it like impossible to get back to that heart that we have in the first one because it's so crazy now?
I think we're definitely a lot more balls to the wall. In progression. I mean, I feel like I'm like one of the few people that genuinely loves 2.
Me too. I actually really like 2.
2 is my favorite.
Can't get over Ruby Rose. It's just she's so bad in that movie. I
like Ruby Rose.
I forgot you.
The whole thing. I'm like, it's cool that they're like representing a character that like can't speak or whatever. But I don't know. She just kind of phones it in. It's so weird. And then they're just like in the like the mirror fight, and I don't know. It just feels like she's basically wasted as a character. I don't know. It's just weird.
I disagree strongly.
I think she was used for her strengths, which is not talking.
I don't think she died either. So I would be down to.
I don't think her or Common died. Right? Didn't Common get?
I don't think Common died either. There was
he had a knife in the train. He was like, "Hold this."
There's just the common thread of like be seeing you, not complete fatalities. So that would be great. Back.
That'd be cool.
It's just portals and John Wick.
I know.
Like going up against the High Table, all these former
on your left, John. Oh God, gotta be bad. I am all the Wicks. No.
We had a fun discussion that was I think primarily jokey, but I'd also be down to see it. We were pitching. There was like this tweet going around of like pitching like actors you want to see together as like siblings, but I like switched up as like a father-son dynamic, and I threw out
I know where you're going.
Keanu and Adam Driver.
Yeah.
Because that would be such a great matchup in any form of film. But if it was in John Wick, see, imagine Adam Driver doing John Wick level stunts. Oh
he would do his own stunts. He would take it seriously.
Yeah, he does. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. He'll do it. I just don't think if he's was ever approached for this kind of thing, I don't think he would do it. Like, I just don't. I don't know.
This is the interesting thing because there's like this Adam Driver hot takes thing going around on Twitter, and I usually hate that kind of stuff. But somebody said, like, I want Adam to spread around his genre more. And I'm like, I would love to see Adam in an action movie. He hasn't really done one.
Done every director and every kind of type of movie there.
He hasn't done a horror movie. He doesn't have a mystery or action. Like, there's a couple of genres. No, I don't. Logan Lucky is like a modern Western kind of thing.
Okay.
But
yeah, it's a Soderbergh. It's very much a heist movie too.
Heist movie,
yeah.
But yeah, I would love to see Adam in an action movie.
Carson, do you remember your Adam John Wick pitch?
Do I remember my Adam John Wick pitch?
Yeah, I think it was like it was the father-son dynamic, but like Adam's like a villain.
Oh my God, when did I say this?
Was I drunk?
We were bouncing ideas off each other. You were just like, oh my God, this. And we were like talking about like what if there's like a son that he didn't realize he had out there, and it's one of the I didn't expect Evan to pick up on that. I was like, I'm surprised Carson's even diving deep into this, but it's
I don't know.
I vaguely remember this, but I have a new idea. So I know we said we wanted an action star at the top of the high table, but also imagine if it just gets there and it's just Christopher Plummer just chilling in the king's chair, and he just talks him down. Because the one thing,
like the architect, like in Matrix,
just imagine talking down John Wick, like the biggest. It's John Wick, like you cannot beat him.
You can't stop him.
He beats them with words. Like I would just love to see, like somehow he like pulls something on John. I would love that kind of like. It's almost kind of like that existential version of it, like in the Matrix, the second Matrix, where he gets to that point where it's like that guy just chilling, like talking to him.
Yeah, like Nathan just said, the architect. That would be pretty interesting. I don't think John Wick would do that. John Wick knows, like, it's fans. We want to see an epic last final fight scene or whatever.
And I think we will, but I don't know. Part of me,
I think it'd be cool if they like went to around like it having like so much like big top tier action. If like the final high table battle was like a more intensely driven, like traditionalist samurai sword fight.
Oh my God, I need it.
That'd be awesome.
Like Twin Sons, you know? Because that seriously is like one of the best saber battles. But some just like bringing like everything back down to like more and like get more personal and like the depth of like you say like bring it back around.
Like pauses in the action, just kind of like with talking.
That's what I want. Yeah.
Because the one thing I will say about John Wick 3 is it is exhausting. By the time you get to that sequence where he's crashed through like so many panes of glass, like just
oh my God, it's almost comedic at a point. I think they were
he just keeps going. He just keeps going through glass, and you're like,
there's like solid like he like stumbles for a moment to get his mount, and they just like once again through the glass. It's funny, but I will also say like when they are in that final battle, like any form of talking is like one or two quick dialogue, and then it's back into the constant action again. So yeah, there was definitely like a lot more speech in it, but you know, I also said that about lightsaber battles and I got reprimanded, but still, like, you know, a healthy balance. But you know, either way, I'm excited. I wasn't expecting a 5 to happen at all, so the fact that
me either, I wasn't
a 2-part finale.
What if his wife is still alive? No.
No.
It is funny that we're like talking John Wick 5 when like 4 is still to come as well. Mm-hmm. And I think it's still did it move or is it still
it moved back? I guess it's kind of explains why they started doing Matrix first and then they're going to do John Wick 4 and 5.
Yeah,
because I always thought like John Wick would go before Matrix because John Wick is more profitable right now. But sure. I guess Matrix for 2022 and then John Wick.
I'm so excited for Matrix.
2023.
Like, oh my God!
And you only recently got. So now I'm on the other end of it because normally I'm the dude who's so late to franchise sequel build up because like I took forever with Breaking Bad and like El Camino came out. You are just now getting with Matrix and like for like the longest time growing up, the idea of Matrix 4 was never in the air or possibility at all anymore.
Nobody wanted it.
Yeah, no, because like a lot of people would trash on 2 and 3, but I think like since kind of like prequel stuff, like a lot of people like built to enjoy the whole franchise. And I've like even like would like randomly like on a car ride, I'll like say to my dad like, "Would you be intrigued at all if like a Matrix 4 were to happen with the original cast?" And he's like, "Oh, absolutely, in a heartbeat." So I know original fans definitely.
Wow.
And hearing Keanu, the interviews of him, like how passionate it is he's about like this about Wachowski's script. It just makes me so happy that he's like pumped about it again. Like that's amazing. I can't wait to see it.
I have that right now with Bill and Ted 3, which got moved up a little bit, I guess.
Oh, yep.
It's like playing ping pong with itself, just the release date. But you know, I'm super hyped to see that. And it was also weird, like with Matrix, because you know I wouldn't have expected. I still don't know how they're gonna do it with because both Keanu and Carrie-Anne Moss are back, but they both died in 3. So I'm really intrigued to see what happened. Like maybe some form of, if they really did like call it like Matrix rebooted, that'd be cool.
Did everyone die in 3? Right, at the ending,
Morpheus didn't.
Okay, I forget how it ended.
I mean, there's so many ways.
The Matrix is still online.
But
it's
still
just
online,
Smith was a virus that got purged.
Eradicated. Yeah.
Wow.
So
I gotta rewatch these movies.
I know it's been a while.
It's been a while.
I'm like, because I know the Oracle's still around.
It's a great trilogy.
Great.
Yes.
Great story, like prequels.
Bad execution.
No, I think it is more. I think it is.
I like it.
Yes, I like it. It is like, it is not executed the best. Like,
sure.
It's all there. Like I love. Like it's so.
You love the rave sequence.
We would never get like a Matrix franchise today. Like compared to like a Marvel movie. Like if you look at if you look at Marvel movies today and you look at like studio franchise and you look back at like the Matrix movies, like it's crazy. Like how visionary those movies were. Just everything, the designs, everything. Like, when you rewatch them, you'll be like, oh my god, how did they do this back in 2000 and I
rewatched the first one a couple of times, but I just haven't gone back to watch 2 and 3. I just ended at 1.
I love Reloaded. Like I think the first is still the absolute best.
Yeah.
For sure, hands down. I think the last one is okay. I think it's pretty good, but the middle one, I love that one so much. Like the whole bike sequence.
It's a great
the highway. That all that stuff. I love that movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Cool.
It really is a fun trilogy with especially the action. I mean, it's the John Wick director was Keanu's stunt double, which is still crazy to think. But yeah, I mean, the Wachowskis are a visionary bunch, and they're great. It's funny because even like to today, like I remember they made the Speed Racer film, which I still need to see.
You guys ever seen it?
No, and like initially everybody trashed it, but now it's developing a new cult following, in terms of its stylistic nature. So
you know what movie is great? Is Cloud Atlas. Cloud Atlas is so good.
I've never seen
that's another thing I've heard people hate on, and I need to go back to see.
It is like a 3-hour epic, and it's awesome.
Cool. With Tom Hanks and Halle Berry.
Tom Hanks, yeah. Yep.
Never seen it.
Very cool. Hey, I got a viewer. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Spotlight. Boom.
Geek Master.
I love this new feature on StreamYard. Was this new, or just we always had the ability to do this?
I think I switched up a setting or something, but
we've always had this. Yeah.
I mean, we've had that, but it was a lot more bulky.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely. Maybe I'll get premium and get more.
Do they have that?
Eventually. Yeah, they have that. But yeah, I'm excited. Plenty of these Keanu projects. More Keanu is always better. But I will say, I think even to nowadays, when you read the room of like fan reception, but also like people who enjoy franchise, I think Matrix 4 is definitely in good hands for an execution. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know how we got to.
I'm not the Wachowskis. What have they done?
It's only one of them. It's only one of them doing it this time.
It's like Lana, right?
Yeah, Lana's doing it, and it'll be interesting. What was the last one doing all the action too?
Okay, what was the last one they did? Was that Cloud Atlas?
That was
I think that was 2011. So it's been a while since
It's been a while.
I think they produced some stuff, but not like personally.
They're on that same vein for me as now I'm blanking on their name. The people that did like what's it called? I'm blanking, but they're on that verge of like people I'm just iffy about. Like I don't know what kind of Wachowskis I'm gonna get. Like I love Matrix, but some of their other movies are just
now you've piqued my interest.
They did Jupiter Ascending.
Oh, that's right. I saw that.
Yeah. Wow, of course you did.
Well,
I cried there too.
No, I didn't, but I have a poster. I'll say it's not the best.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anyway, I don't even know how we got to Matrix, but it's fun that we talked about. But okay, no, Evan, the fact that you brought up something, I need to solve this mystery. You can't figure out the person. The film. Can you remember like who's in the film? Or like
for what? The other filmmakers you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like I was talking about, the movie with Alden Ehrenreich and George Clooney. Who directed that?
Oh, Hail Caesar? The
Coen brothers.
Coen brothers?
Yes. During that same way.
Coen brothers?
Yes, because look, what have they done for me lately?
What?
They haven't done a lot of good movies lately. They haven't. I'm sorry. It's been a while. It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
No way.
It's been a minute. Look it up. It's been a minute. So I'm just
we just told you we like Matrix 2 and 3. What do you expect from us?
I know. I'm just like, what have you done for me lately? And so I'm hyped for Matrix, but I'm also like, what kind of movie am I going to get here? So
okay, Inside Llewyn Davis was literally
never seen it.
I need to see that.
Years ago. I haven't seen it either, but I've heard
it was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Wow.
Oh my god.
True Grit was 10 years ago.
It's a decade ago.
Okay.
Okay, you got it.
I've heard.
So you didn't like Hail Caesar?
I just hated Hail Caesar.
Did you like the Ballad of Buster Scruggs? I have not seen it. I heard it's like.
I have not seen it. I heard it's like iffy. Like it's like certain different parts.
Because it's different stories. It's split up.
But yeah, it's just okay.
Wow, I'm shocked.
I like early Coen brothers, right? Like I like True Grit. I like what's it called? Fargo.
What about Burn After Reading?
Haven't seen that. I guess I haven't seen a lot of Coen brothers, have I?
Have you guys seen
No Country for Old Men, which was 2007? That was like
it's so long ago. I'm just Coen.
Did you guys see Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
No.
For some reason that they showed that in school. I was like, okay, we're in class. But
so you guys know Roger Deakins has his own podcast or whatever.
Yeah.
The latest episode is with I can't remember which Coen brother and Deakins diving into their career together.
That's awesome.
It's on
he did No Country for Old Men, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be an interesting episode to listen to. But I can't believe this man is sleeping on the Coens. I'm shocked.
I just can't get Hail Caesar burned me. It destroyed me. I walked out of that.
Is it really that bad?
It's bad.
I still want to see it, but I'm imagining I'm gonna like it anyway. Just because
it can't be that bad. I'll believe it when I see it.
It's bad. Carson's like, Evan, you don't understand the filmmaking.
No.
I mean,
he gave me them film school BS, but
no.
But yeah, we got 30 minutes on John Wick. That's crazy.
Yeah, and Matrix spontaneously. But
let's go into
Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Big news. We got
Nia DaCosta.
DaCosta. She is helming as director, which is very nice.
Fantastic. The first black female director of an MCU movie.
And it only took 25.
Looking at you.
I know. Oof.
Or more, depending on the release.
It was funny because it was supposed to be Ava DuVernay for Black Panther 1, but she turned it down.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. She was like, she wouldn't have her own identity or something like that. Maybe I'm just making that up.
Has Ava done anything since
Selma?
Wrinkle in Time, or has she just been attached to New Gods?
She's been attached for New Gods. She's writing that with Tom King.
She did the Netflix series.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Wow, I should know this.
They will not.
They shall not grow.
They shall not see us.
They will not see us.
Oof.
Until they see us.
I'm thinking of the Peter Jackson documentary.
Look it up for me. We got to respect Ava DuVernay.
They will not see. What is it?
Carson's tech.
I'm on it.
Look up Ava DuVernay. But so yeah, I'm very excited for Nia DaCosta. Mostly because of the marketing for Candyman. Like that's where I mostly got her.
Oh, it's When They See Us.
When They See Us. Okay.
Yeah, that was 2019.
But yeah, so like the marketing for Candyman, I'm like, it's so unique and so visceral, so racially powerful. Especially
that animated thing.
That animated thing
trailer was
so
great.
good. It was so.
Oh,
good.
I didn't see that. What?
It's like this
on the Twitter account.
Yeah, it's also like no spoilers for the movie at all either. It's just like a whole, what is it called, Carson? It's not a stick figure, but
it's
puppet.
It's kind of like it reminded me of the Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 1 animation. The silhouette, very silhouette kind of 2D vibe.
Shadow-esque.
Yeah.
Pulled by like strings kind of thing.
Yep. Kind of
marionette?
Marionette, yes, something like that.
I'm gonna look it up right now. But,
so it's very exciting.
I still need to see the I've not seen the original Candyman. I will before I see
me neither. It's on Netflix.
But it's hooked me. Like just like the marketing of it, it's so intriguing.
I'm definitely gonna watch it.
I know it has the basis of like the previous stuff. Oh wow, I'm seeing the shadow stuff. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's so fascinating. I love like the set cast they got going on.
Oh yeah, the guy from Aquaman, right? Yeah, I can't. I'm gonna butcher his name.
Yeah,
he's in Watchmen. He's in everything.
I'm
nominated. Yeah, but so yeah, just looking at the marketing for Candyman, I can kind of tell that her projects in general are very her own, very unique, and I can kind of see her voice through just the marketing from Candyman alone.
I can't wait to watch Little Woods.
That's on my
debut.
It's on Hulu. It's on
Netflix, right? Or it's on Hulu. And I've seen it on Hulu before, and I've like added it to my watch list.
Same here, dude. Same here.
It looks super interesting.
With Tessa Thompson.
With Tessa Thompson. Like, I'm sold already. Like, let me watch that movie.
Yeah.
But that came out in 2018. So then, she pretty much got Candyman right after, and now Captain Marvel. Like, that's good for her.
That's how Marvel works, right?
Starting
from the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you do a little. I mean, for example, you do a little indie sci-fi that gets people raving, and then you get Godzilla, then Rogue One.
Yeah, Gareth Edwards. Yeah. And then you disappear from Hollywood.
Gareth is the king.
No, remember, he's back. I bring this up. He's back with his original sci-fi.
The last thing I saw from Gareth was a selfie with a PlayStation controller.
Carson, he's gonna be writing that movie for like years.
Oh my gosh,
it's not coming out.
I mean, I've been writing a series for like 8 years, and now I'm getting to it. So.
Gareth is in the same place as Josh Trank. And he's just like,
he is not.
I'm sorry, I call it like I see it. But
all right,
I do want to talk in a semblance to ideas for Captain Marvel 2. First I want to address where do you guys think the timeline will take place for Captain Marvel?
Both of you assume I even remember what happens in the first movie.
Well, you don't have to.
Wow, come on, Carson.
I'm not getting into
look at this guy.
Detail. It's fine.
I remember. Okay, I'll try to remember. I remember
it just came out last year.
She like dismantles like the AI system that's like ruling her planet or something. I can't remember.
The Kree.
I don't know.
The Kree.
Kree War. Yeah.
The Kree intelligence.
Can you not have the attitude on your voice?
I know, right? Come on, Carson.
The Kree.
I'm too good for these Marvel movies. Oh.
No, it's funny because I like this movie. I like this movie.
I liked it a lot.
Mendelsohn was good. I thought it was fine. I just didn't think it was.
I think it's a B+. I walked out of it the same way I walk out of a lot of Marvel movies. I walked out. I liked it a lot.
They kind of wasted Jude Law.
I guess
he's still alive.
Samuel Jackson was fine. I mean, he was just kind of in it.
Yeah, Jude Law. We can still use him.
Yes, and I think they will. That's a good segue.
Well, yeah, I'd imagine he's the messenger.
I don't think so.
He's the messenger for like this next big step.
Oh, I guess you're right.
What else I like about that movie? I love. Okay, my favorite sequence is like when she stands up and she does like the intercut sequence of
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's like flashback in her head. That's my favorite sequence of the movie.
I cry in the trailers. I cry in the movie.
Jeez.
No, but seriously, it's funny. I would like watch it so much at home, like the trailer, and it'd be like, okay, this is cool. But when I see it like on the big screen, like with the surround sound, I'm just there, and I'm like, oh my god, this is powerful.
Yeah.
I didn't think the effects were the best.
Are they ever great for a Marvel movie? I mean, they're fine.
Endgame.
Endgame.
Endgame and Infinity War and AP2.
What else about this movie?
Point.
What? If
I'm trying to remember.
You said what else happened in the movie?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what else.
I think in general, like her whole relationship with Maria Rambeau is very important.
That's what I wanted to touch
on.
Oh,
that's the character. That's my favorite character in the movie.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to touch on in regards to timeline, because I was wondering how that might get handled, because an older version of her is supposed to appear in WandaVision.
Yeah, she's already been cast. She walked out of Comic-Con 2 years ago.
Yeah, and she actually inherits some form of a superhero role. So I would be intrigued to see.
Yeah, she has very similar powers to Captain Marvel. I'm gonna look up her powers right now.
I think her costume is even like based around Carol's jacket as well.
Wait, the friend like at the right, like they hide out at the house.
The friend's daughter.
Oh, the daughter has
Monica Rambeau. Maria Rambeau is the best friend. Monica's the daughter.
She has. Do we know she has powers?
Not yet.
No, but in the comic books.
Got it.
She'll get them.
Yeah.
Wait, how did she get powers though?
I can't remember. But I wonder. But that's what I was like wondering. It's interesting that like these random MCU characters are going to be in the Disney Plus shows. Like, Randall Park from Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to be in WandaVision, but also so is Monica Rambeau and also Darcy from Thor. It's a very like mixed bag of side characters.
I'm curious what that connectivity looks like, because we really don't know how they're going to play off each other, but even between shows on the Disney Plus like Marvel era, and like if they're even going to attempt to like kind of relate to like plot points in the movies, or it's going to be. I think
it's going to be very loose.
Yeah, I think so too. But I'm just curious to see what
not as bad as Netflix. They're not going to be like, remember that event? They're not going to do that.
Yeah, no.
Do you think they'll have some sort of like in the placement for like end credits on the big screen, like in their like closing logos, they might have like the Disney Plus logo or something to just like sway people over to a flow of some sort? No.
I think Disney Plus is doing fine already. They don't need to put that in
yeah. I just mean for like normal moviegoers that might.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Vice versa, they would have like, check out. You'd be able to like click on the actress.
I mean, they had that Rise of Skywalker preview on Mandalorian.
They did. That is true.
Yeah, I can see something like that where they would attach the movies.
Yeah. It's like she'll be seen in Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah.
Same thing for WandaVision. She'll be back in Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness. But I just looked up Monica Rambeau's powers, and she basically has the same thing as Captain Marvel. She can convert parts of her body to energy.
Cool.
So they might change it for the movie. She could just be like an Inhuman or a mutant. Not sure.
I mean, could be a form of like blood transfer, like Carol had, and
could be.
That would also be a cool like side by side team up, like Iron Man War Machine type.
And you said like Monica's in what TV show again?
WandaVision.
WandaVision. Okay. Wow. Yeah, WandaVision's going to be packed.
WandaVision's stacked with
that probably my top.
And there was like some set photos last week of the main villain from WandaVision too.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
I'll probably wait.
Spoilers, but if you don't care about that stuff.
I'm trying to think, at the end of Captain Marvel, like I can't remember. It's set in the past, right? So then she's like
1993.
So she goes off, right, and it's like defending. I can't remember what she's doing. What's she doing at the end of the movie?
What is she? She's like fighting the Kree World War.
She follows the Skrulls to I think to fight for their
It's very interesting because the Skrulls are good guys in the MCU right now.
Yeah, it was because like it was initially like everybody in comics knows like Skrulls are villains, so they flipped it that the Kree are the villain and Skrulls are innocent, which is cool.
So
I'm
definitely going to defend their homeworld, right, or something. I can't.
Yeah, in between then and Endgame, which also she's back by Endgame, and also Talos and everybody was in.
So, what do you think the time jump is going to be on this one? Do you think it'll be like
just
after that event?
Very well. I mean, I would imagine if we're gonna do anything, we'll probably have like an advancement. I mean, if they liked cashing in on like eras, I can imagine them doing some sort of mid 2000s stuff.
I think it's definitely a modern day, especially because they're doing the Miss Marvel TV series, which is supposed to premiere before Captain Marvel 2.
Well, I mean, I could see like them definitely starting to progress into the modern day, but also like the whole factor of like this whole set of plot points 20 years prior to Endgame. I feel like you have to also wrap that too. So
you think so?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a prime adventure to go on for setup.
So will this movie take place exclusively before the events of Endgame, or will it?
It could do a bounce
I
back
don't think it will.
time frame, for all we know.
That could be true. I just think like everything that we need, everything that happened before Endgame is kind of non-relevant.
Like fill in the blank, kind of.
Yeah, like she helped the Skrulls. That's all you really need to know.
Around the galaxy, I guess, probably.
And like I was saying, the Skrulls that we do know, they're in Far From Home, so we know they're okay.
Yeah, exactly. They kind of messed up in Far From Home too. They did a really bad job.
What?
Remember, the Skrulls trying to be Nick Fury. They're like, "Oh, Nick Fury, we kind of messed up. We gave this guy glasses, and he almost destroyed the world." And
things went.
But
I do love like looking back at that. Like Nick Fury is like overly aggressive, and I'm just like, why is he so tough on this child? And it's like, oh, okay,
it's not him.
Right.
Oh, and in that post-credit scene from Far From Home, Talos says that the Kree have sleeper cells on Earth. So that could also pertain to Captain Marvel 2.
I'm sure they'll also like where Nick is in the end credit scene. They'll probably go
sword, right? Yeah,
yeah. So, that's what people theorize. It's the sword. There's a lot of organizations coming up, especially like in the.
I'll be surprised.
Yeah, where was he heading off to again? Like he was. Just
I think he's just trying to protect the Earth from space events. So
the next stage of Shield, since Shield
exactly.
Is like,
okay, yeah.
I guess.
Shield is like based on Earth. Sword is based in space, basically.
Which is, I would love a more cosmic era of the MCU.
Which would be perfect. One of the main theories for Fantastic Four is that the Fantastic Four could be working on that space station. Ooh. They get hit with a nuclear blast, and then you have your Fantastic Four.
If I would just like randomly see like Nick Fury talking to Reed Richards, I would just
exactly right. I think
my brain will just melt without like.
That'd be awesome.
Like, oh my god.
And yeah, the mutants are coming in like in 2025 or 2024. John Krasinski. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I don't know who they're gonna get, but
I mean, I think it's gonna be John at this point. Yeah, but yeah, I'm very excited for Captain Marvel 2. I don't think they're gonna do Secret Invasion. I don't know if I'm the minority, but I really hate that storyline. It's like, who can you trust? Like you never know. It's like. Really?
I feel like it's tricky to execute because it's one of those like whodunit-esque, like who's the real one, especially if it's like people we know, because I feel like it's not going to be like the top of players, like it's not going to be like Spider-Man or somebody, and that would have to be like an Avengers level film of crossover.
And I would not like that because a lot of people are like, what's the next big Avengers movie? Let's do a Secret Invasion for big. I'm like, no, so we can see fake people hit fake people. It's like,
yeah,
boring.
I like the theories that people are having of the next big villain being Kang the Conqueror, who's I
agree.
He's like a time traveler type.
He's
villain.
A younger Avengers. Villain.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be. Only like real semblance I have in my memory is like I've read the Age of Ultron storyline from like 2015 that had no relation to the movie whatsoever. It was just
not at all. Yeah.
But like he's a really cool villain. And I think he's supposed to appear as the primary villain in the Loki show. So I think that
he's connected. Yeah. Because like the Time Travel Authority or the Time Variance.
Yeah.
Right? Time Variance Authority, I think is what it's called.
Which I don't hype anything in form of like time travel.
But Kang is so OP in my opinion because like he controls time. He can go back and forth. I'm like, how are they going to do that for the movies?
And it's interesting because we just did the whole Endgame time travel.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it would be interesting to like go outside of like areas that we've already known. Like if you go like deep prehistoric or something like they've done sometimes. It's weird that like modern like Marvel comics, like there's a whole savage land tropical dinosaur area in like Antarctica, which is crazy.
Marvel's current Avengers run right now, nobody's reading it, is really, really good. I really like their current Avengers comics. But also, I think the next big villain should be Doctor Doom. I think that's
I agree. I think
fantastic. He's like an anti Tony Stark without the morals of Tony Stark, and that'd be really awesome.
Yeah, and you can have plenty great setup with him in terms of not just Fantastic Four, but also in Black Panther, because Black Panther originally was introduced in the Fantastic Four comic book, and I think also just like discussing like existing nations of Wakanda in contrast to Latveria would be interesting.
Yeah. Ooh,
When is this movie going to come out, do you guys think?
2023 for Captain Marvel? No, it's 2022. 2022.
Oh, come on, 2022.
It's May 2022.
4 movies.
It's crammed, right? Like every
I remember
there's a new.
Yeah, 2022 is the year of the sequels. I remember that.
Thor's in February.
Thor's in February. Let me look at it right now.
I think
Doctor Strange 2 is in
March.
Thor in February. Doctor Strange March 25th. Black Panther 2 May 8th. Captain Marvel July 8th.
That's so much.
And then
it's got to shift.
Spider-Verse 2. Woo! Shazam 2. Aquaman 2. Woo!
All
the twos.
All the twos, baby.
All the twos and a 4
in 2022. That's gonna be fantastic.
I would move Doctor Strange to the July date, like a Spider-Man date, or the like.
I don't think
March is so weird. Like, why would you release that in March? Like, I don't know.
I think they're just like they had the pandemic shift.
I'm not going crazy.
So it's gonna shift again, no doubt.
You think,
so
the pandemic, yeah.
Oh, well, I guess we will really know when we see what happens to Black Widow. It's going to depend because we may be looking at an entire shift based on how everyone reacts. So
I think we'll talk about it later, but I think they have to release Black Widow this year if they don't want to change everything.
Yeah, if they want to keep on the same timeline. Yeah.
I feel like everything's moved this year though. Like every big thing has moved even next year.
Say that, but Bond hasn't moved, Dune hasn't moved, Wonder Woman hasn't moved.
They're also like the latter of the year though, so I feel like there's still a shot.
Yeah, I know, but same with Black Widow. That's what it would be. Influenced.
Literally everything is dogpiled on top of each other in November currently.
Yeah.
I know, like as far as like, I think we've reached as far as October with Halloween's year pushback.
Yes. I'm trying to think what else moved in like a year. It seems like they're going ahead with Dune though, and like the end of the year movies. We haven't really seen a resurgence in Bond stuff, but I think over the next month we're going to start seeing all that stuff.
That could be a good tie-in to the next topic in terms of Bond.
Yeah,
it's a Universal picture.
Universal's
next big event movie.
Is it? I thought it was
it's Universal. Consequently, Bond 20 or Bond 25 is not going to count towards this deal. It's starting in 2021.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
But it is important to talk about because AMC, there was like this huge, I don't know if it was like a call or AMC call today, but they were talking about like the deal, and
I retweeted.
They were talking, they were talking about like how they're kind of trying to future-proof themselves essentially and set it up because, you know, if you look at the numbers, it's like 80% of the, you know, actual box office going is within the first 17 days of a movie's release. So that was like their kind of rationale of like, okay, we're going to open up premium on demand after those 17 days. And that way, you know, we got that 80% margin or whatever from the first 17 days. And then basically, you know, they'll be supporting each other because they're going to be getting a cut from those premium VODs for the people that choose that option, which is huge.
Yes. And the most important thing, not most important, but one of the things is they'll continue to release it in theaters simultaneously. So after the 17 days. And this is pretty big because for decades now, theaters have been trying to fight against studios in terms of shortening the theatrical window. They've always loved that 90 days. And a lot of studios were like, by the end of 90 days, like it's too far along. So let's just shorten it anyways, because most of the money, again, like Carson said, is made in those first 3 weeks, which is true. But then it also goes against small filmmakers, which makes money over time. So good for big filmmakers.
With that choice, yes, money is being split up, but people, it supports both theaters and VOD at the same in studios more directly at the same time, and so it's like it's basically just like splintering off. Like, hey, you're just gonna get it earlier, and we're gonna profit share from that. But I think that theaters are still going to survive because of that experience of a new movie still having that time gap, like that incentive of still having new movies, like, you know, on the big screen opening night is still such a big thing to people, especially for people of our generation. So that's why I think AMC actually is smart here in going ahead with this, not only because they were kind of boxed in a corner with some of this stuff. Now that
they have no leverage at all.
They have no leverage, but this gives them not really leverage, but it gives them kind of an idea of like, you know, retaining what the theater experience is about, while kind of being like, hey, we're going to kind of compromise here because it makes sense for us.
Yes. Yeah, I'm totally with you, Carson. Especially this AMC thing was last week, right? And then we had the Mulan thing this week. After every single time, people always do the whole death of cinema thing, and it's never going to happen. I'm sorry. Like, the theatrical releases, the window of exclusivity for theatrical releases may shorten. It could be shorter than 17 days in a couple years from now. We never know. But there's always going to be theaters. Just look at the 2021, 2022 slate right now. Like, those huge blockbusters.
People love going to the big movies. You know?
Exactly. But like I said, there's also a caveat in terms of indie movies, the movies that I mostly love in terms of the fall Oscar kind of movies. That could be dangerous. But theaters are always going to be there. Yeah, Nathan?
Do you guys potentially see in future marketing for Universal films, like, the emphasis to catch this type of film on the big screen? Like, in a trailer, just like they put emphasize, like, you have to see it in the theater, like, just for like the atmospheric sort of.
I don't think so. I think they'll, and vice versa. I don't think you would see, like, catch it. I don't think you're going to see like that option right away, like in the promotion. It's just going to be like normal, and then I'm sure it's written within the deal that once they hit, you know, 15 to 16 days into the thing, you'll start to see the big TV spots like, oh, you have the choice now. Like, they're probably going to strategically place it, like, they don't want to push one or the other to like kind of hinder each other.
Is it the thing with the deal, like, it'll still play after 17 days in theaters, but now you have
now you have the premium
play, but now you have the option, which is pretty cool, because I'll be going back to see theaters, like, because I go to see movies by myself or with my brother or my dad. Like, I would always go see movies repeatedly on theater. I wouldn't like use the PVOD format.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep using the A-list. I get better.
Exactly. Yeah, A-list is a better deal, which is still great. I forgot about to say. Oh yeah,
I wonder if this deal will affect that A-list kind of thing. Now I'm thinking about it, like,
I don't think so, right? Because A-list is what, $30 a month for
20,
which is great, because
24.
Like 20.
24,
25.
Yeah.
What's the AMC deal? It's like 3 movies a week.
Three movies a week.
And it renews every month, so you could see basically like 12 to 15 movies a month.
Yeah.
If you like really commit, like I do. But
but say, here's an example for you guys. So say like I don't know. Say like The French Dispatch comes out, and that's not a Universal movie, but say like a small Universal movie comes out. And no, say like that kind of level of a movie, like that scale of a movie, like a French Dispatch kind of scale movie comes out, and they look at the numbers, and it's not doing well in theaters post the 17 days, and they're seeing that it's doing much better on premium VOD. Would studios be incentivized to let people they're going to want to keep showing the movie, but if no one's showing up, what would they let A-list people still get that deal? You know what I mean? Like, because they're kind of losing money at that point, honestly. Like, but it is, I don't know. It's interesting.
Would they because like most PVOD movies would be like $20, right?
Yeah.
So,
but I say that, and yet I keep forgetting that they're getting a cut of that.
They are getting
really.
I don't know what kind of cut.
It's all circling back into each other, so we don't really know what
50-50, but I'm not sure what it would. What did it clarify what kind of deal the cut is?
I don't think so. Well, I think about like I think it would be lower than what, because like theaters get like usually like a third of the box office for at least domestically. It's like, I think I'm pretty sure it's higher in foreign markets, just how it works out. but I could see it around like 25% maybe.
And that would still be a good deal.
That would still be a good deal
compared
for them,
to zero, which what it used to be. So yeah,
I don't know what the economics are going to look like, but I think after like a year, like after the 2021 calendar year of movies, I think we'll see the reaction to it, I guess. And I don't know if it will be AMC. And that was another thing they said today is like AMC is very confident that it's going to become industry standard, which I think it very well could be, but it's going to be interesting on like case by case basis. Will like the Regals and the Cinemarks hop onto it?
I think I retweeted an article last week where Regal was like against this. I can look it up.
Yeah, right they were, and no, Cinemark was too. They're like, no,
this really?
Is stupid.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, initially everybody kind of like followed AMC, didn't they? And their original like against Universal thing.
Yeah, Regal supported what
at
AMC
first. Yeah,
well, you're right. I just looked it up right now. Cinemark joins Regal. This is a day ago. Cinemark joins Regal and not supporting the AMC Universal film window deal. They don't want to shorten the theatrical window, which makes sense. That's what exhibitors have been fighting for decades.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes next year. Like Carson said, there's a lot of big movies coming out next year for Universal. So we'll see how that affects them. Like I think for their big movies, I don't think it'll affect them too much. Even if they give them like the option.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't think this is the death of cinema. I think right now cinemas, we're in that point where it's like they just have to continue to enforce or persuade that the best thing for cinemas right now in order to get people back into cinemas is redeveloping cinemas itself, not trying to change like the theatrical window or everything like that. It's like enticing people to go back to movie theaters.
And I think people will. It's movie theaters, especially for people like us, is very experiential. We're like, oh my God, I love the theater experience. And I think people our age are kind of showing a resurgence of that. You know, whether it be the general movie people that are just like, oh, I want to go see the Marvel movie opening night, or if it's like us, we're like, we're going to go to our matinee showing of like The Shape of Water and we're going to have a great time. Like, there's just like so many people that want these different experiences. And at the same time, I think everyone is realizing that like there's so many movies coming out that like the attention span of them is so short. Like it seems like so long ago that we were talking about like box office results on Sunday, but it's like, you know, there's so much new stuff coming out that it's a new box office headline every week about a different movie. Things move so fast. And so honestly, they can argue about it all day, but it was kind of inevitable. Like,
agreed
that this was going to close because the attention span for shows, for movies, you have to catch it so fast. Otherwise, it's going to be swallowed up by whatever's coming next. So it makes sense that it's going low.
Nathan.
That's definitely fair. I guess that like really drives to the whole point of like what audience you market to and what they pay attention to.
Yeah. And this has been a thing even before the COVID situation, like I said. So I think the whole theatrical window thing, COVID just increased the this kind of deal into happening. I think this kind of deal was always going to happen, but now that theaters have no leverage, it was only a matter of time.
On my side note to talking about theaters, I mean, I hope we can get something locked down to where like I can like get back into the events of like marathon stuff that theaters would host, because those are just those are so fun. I don't know if we've ever like really touched on it. We've touched on like movies releasing previously like old films just like re-released. Do you guys how do you guys feel on the advantage of that being rolled out? Like, do you see there to be an actual benefit, or do you feel like there's like not much for it when there's like plenty of people who are just like, it's an old film that you probably already own on your own home media?
What do you mean, like incentivizing people to come back to movie theaters with like classic movies, or what?
Did I crash?
No, we hear you. We see you.
Everyone's frozen. That's bad.
Can you hear us? Oh,
no, we lost Nathan.
Anyways,
we'll wait for Nathan to come back. But I think regarding this question, I don't think that playing classic films will entice people to go back to the theaters, especially right now, because it's like, should I go see Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, even though I'm in a room full of people? Or the theory is I'm being a room full of people, regardless of. I don't think that many people are even going back to theaters right now.
Yeah.
So theoretically, it wouldn't be that full. So you'll be okay. But even then, it's just that notion of people going into theaters. They don't want to do it right now. It's too scary right now. And especially in the U.S. I mean, this is all about the U.S.
Yeah, we say that, and also like they're going ahead with Inception. For like the third time, they moved it up or whatever, and it's come Inception 10th anniversary attached with Tenet footage and whatever else.
It's crazy. It's already August 6th right now. Inception's coming out in 3 weeks. Crazy.
They're
10 in a month.
I think this is the final move. I think it's coming out no matter what. I think so too, buddy. And the funny thing is, like, Antebellum just got pushed to PVOD. Pushed off. Yep.
Combine that news with Christopher Nolan saying, you know what, or maybe it's not Nolan, maybe it's just WB. Either way, Tenet coming out regardless, no PVOD on September 4th, and they're going to do this weird theatrical thing where it just stays in theaters and it plays overseas first. I just think like right now, Christopher Nolan has that power where he's able to be like, you know what, we're going to hit this in theaters. And even though this might not be the thing for a lot of other filmmakers and a lot of other movies, as we saw with Antebellum, or even A Quiet Place or any other of these fall movies that just skip it and just get delayed to the next year. I think Tenet is just one of those movies where it's like, this is going to come out in 2020 because we want two things. We want to help the theaters get back and get some income back, but also we want to be the first ones to like get people to come back into the theaters.
And that was the ultimate compromise. There had to be a movie that did this. If it wasn't Tenet, it was going to be another big movie. If there was a nationwide thing that like theaters were closed until 2021, then we won't be having this conversation. But because things are opening back up and theaters need money, there was always going to be someone that had to go first. And we were like, is that going to be Mulan? Is that going to be Tenet? But there was always going to have to be a movie that was like, hey, we're going to kind of bite the bullet, risk it, and see if this can work. Like if we release it and we slowly get that trickle of moviegoers back. And like you said, like I think that incentive is much more there with new content versus like, the Indiana Jones stuff of showing old movies. I think they can be profitable about this over time as things become more safe. But then again, I don't know. Is there an instance now that Tenet is opening in September, which is kind of crazy to say, is there an instance where Tenet needs to play for 3 months in the US to, flip a final profit? And then we're into December and we've already overlapped 2 WB films. So is it like, you know what I mean? Is it going to start to hinder itself with that long release now that they have 2 more
Wonder Woman.
There's more tent poles coming out.
Wonder Woman in October, which is a little over a month from Tenet's release date. I think we'll have to wait to see Tenet's box office.
Yeah,
I think Tenet's box office
for
will
the
be
first
a big
month
thing.
probably. We're going to see like what. It's going to be interesting.
It'll be interesting. And it's funny. We'll get into the Mulan thing soon. But I think Tenet, I don't think other movies and studios are going to be like what Tenet is doing.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think it's a one-off, kind of as the Mulan situation is described.
But I guess, are those the only 2 options? Like, is the Mulan option, which is basically just going to streaming, is going to streaming or going to theaters the only other option at this point? Because if Tenet does do successful, I think Wonder Woman just opens up when it's supposed to open up and plays it by ear. And same thing for all the November movies for like Soul or The Kingsman. That's also in September too, or October.
I think the only other option is it's like kind of it's just gonna have to gauge on a reaction to Tenet, or we've seen studios just completely shift their schedules. That's kind of the only thing that's going right now, but yet we're still seeing stuff lag behind because theaters are wanting to get this out and Christopher Nolan's wanting to get this out. And so it's just interesting seeing the push and pull between that. And then like with Mulan moving, it's like you're just seeing like so many different barriers to actually watch a movie. Like it's crazy that the Mulan thing is like it's on. You're gonna have to have a Disney Plus subscription and then have a separate premium VOD section, which is very
so
interesting.
Weird.
Yeah,
they then said like 3 or 4 months later, or 3 months, because that's how it usually is for DVDs now. 3 months or 4 months later, it's going to be on DVD anyway. So
right, and so probably dissolve into its own Disney Plus. Yeah,
it'll be on Disney Plus, or it'll be on YouTube, whatever. You can buy it, whatever. So it's kind of interesting because just gauging reactions like to the Tenet thing, people are like, I don't think, especially in the US, I'm only speaking for the US. People are like, I don't think it's safe to go back to the movie theater just to go see Tenet, even though it's Christopher Nolan's big movie. I'll just wait to go see it on streaming. Disney's like, okay, if you wait to go see streaming, how about we give you streaming, but you have
but it's still an event. It's still Mulan. Like it's still a $200 million movie.
What's up, Nathan? You got us?
This was not the most ideal, but until I can fix my laptop, I'm on the phone. What's up?
Yeah,
we're talking kind of about Mulan now.
Yeah, I was keeping up with the stream on my phone. So.
Oh, okay.
Cool. But yeah, we're talking about Mulan right now, and yeah, I think for Tenet, people wanted, like, they were too nervous. They were like, let's just do streaming. I can wait. But then Mulan's like, okay, if you can wait, we'll just give you the streaming now. So, but then it's too much for them. Apparently $30 is too much, and then they'll just wait again for it to go to streaming for free.
Yep.
And this is the kind of thing where